Hello everyone, this is Blanca. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or evening. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this Christmas ornament. I already created a few of them, 3 of them, and I'm gonna create a 4th one on camera so that I can show you how I did that in case you would like to make one yourself. Here are all the different pieces that we're going to use to create the ornament. I am using some ribbon for the top part of the ornament. I have all my pieces die cut. I use this shimmer pastels paper pad, and I use this blue color paper. I'm using this snow globe die, and this is from Crafter's Companion, and I'm going to leave a link to on the description below of most of the supplies that I used. So I used that to die cut all of these different pieces, and I also cut an extra backing of the snow globe in white just to make it a little bit stronger. And I also used this circle dies to cut a little circle frame that I'm going to put around the snow globe. And also I'm using this clear snow globe dome that's going to have all the shaker parts inside of it. And I also cut all the bow and the little top of the ornament with glitter paper just to give it a little bit more sparkle. So now that I have all my different pieces together, and here I also embossed with the snowflakes the back of the ornament just to give it a little bit of extra texture. So I'm going to go ahead and start assembling my snow globe. As you can see here, I'm going to start with the backing. I cut an extra piece of this backing of the snow globe because I want to make sure it's strong. The ornament turns out really strong, and this is cut from 110 pound, actually 120 pound thick cardstock. So I'm just adding adhesive and glue so that I can maneuver it, and then I'm going to add the back of my ornament, and then you'll see the whole process as we go along. Here I am securing the front of my snow globe with some Postit tape to my backing so that I can then know how to position the circle inside of the snow globe. And in the little circle, I'm adding a snowflake using a die from Crafter's Companion. Again, I'll leave the link in the description below. And I'm adding that to my circle, and then I'm adding the circle to the snow globe in the section where I temporarily adhered it with the Postit tape. And even though you don't see it here, please note that I'm allowing some time every time I add something, you know, something with glue. I'm allowing it some time to dry. I don't know, 30 minutes or more, so that it allows there's time for things to dry, so the glue can dry it up. And now I'm just going to assemble my little bow with some adhesive, and I'm adding some glue as well. And I'm using some of these little clips that are usually for fabric, but I just like to use them to hold things as well. And now I'm just going to add my circle inside my little snow globe. Again, I position the front of it so that I know exactly where to place the circle. And also, I forgot to mention, the snowflake is cut out of the same glittery paper that you see for the little bow and the top of the ornament. So it's the same glittery paper that I used. And now I'm going to add a little clear drop to the middle of the snowflake here. I know the middle looks a bit cloudy, but it's gonna dry clear once it's completely dried. And I'm also gonna add one of these little drops to the bow, as you will see later. Now I have my little circle frame that I cut before that I'm going to add around the little snow globe. And I'm just cutting it because it's not big enough, as you see here from the other one. It's not big enough, so I'm trying to cut it, and I'm just gonna kind of piece it together. And I wasn't able to cut a bigger frame because my circle dies didn't have like the little bigger frame that I needed. So my dies do not have that part, that little bigger size. I needed like a little bigger size that was in between nested circles that I did not have that. So anyway, I had to cut this size, and then I'm going to piece together the other little bits to add to my whole circle here. Now that these pieces are dried enough, I will go ahead and assemble my snow globe, and I'm going to add this little snowflake embellishments in the middle and little snow. But before I do that, I'm going to add adhesive all around the frame of my snow globe, as well as some glue. And then I'm going to add the little bits of snowflakes and snow to the middle of the ornament, and then I'm going to add the top of the snow globe, as you will see. And I am also adding liquid glue so that I can maneuver once I place the top of my snow globe on the backing, as you will see here. Again, you will need to let this dry, and how long, it will depend on the glue that you use. For me, I'm usually letting it dry, I don't know, half an hour to an hour or so, and it will continue to dry overnight, but it will depend on the glue that you use. Now I'm just adding some Postit tape all around my snow globe, so that I want to make sure that everything is really stuck and glued together and is strong. So it will take a little while to completely dry, but this will help it like get stuck together. Again, how long it will dry, it will depend on the type of glue that you use. I will suggest to look at the instructions of the glues that you use and see how, you know, what it tells you about how long it takes to dry. So now some time has passed and I let it dry for a while, and now I can continue working on my ornament. It is still not 100% dry, but it's dry enough that I can continue working on it. Now I'm going to add my little ornament tops here. I cut this out of 120-pound cardstock, the same as that white backing that I showed you before. I'm going to add this first. I'm adding some adhesive and some glue, liquid glue, and then once that dries enough, I will add the top part, which is the same top holder but with glittery paper, so that it has extra shimmer, as you will see here. Here I'm just adding some clear blocks, and actually I ended up going back and adding my main card station, which is kind of heavy, to put on top of this piece. I just want to make sure it gets really glued and there's some weight on it so that the pieces get stuck together. While that's drying and getting stuck together, I'm adding my little bow to the front of my ornament. So I'm adding my little bow, and I'm also going to be adding one of those clear drops in the middle. So here is my little shaker snow globe ornament. As I was looking at it, I noticed that the bow wasn't quite in the middle, so I decided to just go ahead and lift it and just move it to the side a little bit more, because you wouldn't see the back anyway, because it's gonna be like right in front of it, so it wouldn't matter. That I lifted it, and you can see a little bit of glue. Again, it's gonna dry clear, and now I just kind of moved it in the middle, and I think now it looks great. So now I'm just letting it dry for a while again, just enough so where I can go ahead and keep working on it. And now that my ornament is dried enough, I'm going to be adding my ribbon. But before I give it to the person I'm going to give this to, I want to make sure that it's completely dry. So I'm going to let it completely dry overnight, and it will be set to go. So I think this turned out really nice. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.